Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the final game of day 2 in the Demolition League 2024. Trying to get this fixed in. Maybe I need to see. I'm trying to get it where I can show most of the cards, but I don't want the score sheet going off the deep end either. So maybe we'll do it like that. Hopefully that's the best way to do it. All right, so we are at the game number 10, which is the 5th and final game of day 2 of the Demolition League. It is the Kansas City Royals taking on the San Diego Padres from Petco Park in San Diego. And the Padres were winners in game 1. So the Royals trying to even this series and not fall 0-2 like Miami and Toronto have done. Hello, Midlife. Good to see you. So, first step, I've already done the ballpark effects. Petco Park singles are 1-2, home runs are 1-11. Now we'll do pitcher injuries. First for Seth Lugo of the Kansas City Royals. Lugo has a 0, so he cannot be injured. Not worried about him. Dylan Cease of San Diego probably has a 0 too because he threw a lot of innings, and he did. So neither starter has an injury problem to worry about, so no role that can come up will cause them to be injured. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. Happy Friday to you and Midlife and anybody else. So, yeah. All right. So, Dylan Cease on the 2024 season, 14-11, 347 earned run average, and 33 starts. There you see your lineups. Again, I typed these out because my handwriting sucks, and so at least you can see them. You can see what's going on. You don't have to worry about my chicken scratch. I'm not doing the logo crap and all that stuff anymore. It's just too much work, and it's just not. It makes it too busy. So I like a little more analog score sheet where it's a Joe Friday score sheet, just the facts, as Joe Friday and Dragnet would have said. All right, so but a couple of I guess important things if you want to look at it that way. We can do the pitcher catcher. One thing I haven't done is the pitcher catcher hold chances. Dylan Cease is a -3. Higashioka is a -1, so Dylan Cease is a -4 on the hold rating with the catcher. Seth Lugo is a -1. Perez is a -2, so he is also a -3. So, well, it's -3, -4. So, running game, not that they steal a whole lot in 2024, but the pitcher catcher is not going to help them. So, all right. So, we are ready to get this ball rolling. Michael Garcia, and actually, I'm scoring this game on the computer as I play it. So, this will be my first time doing that. I do not have the 2024 computer season. I did not buy that last year when it came out, but I did buy 23. So in case anybody didn't know, I took the 23 season and I picked the 8 teams or the 10 teams that are in this league, transferred, copied them over to a new fictitious 2024 Demolition League set up the league. But the cards in the background on the computer all have the 23 stats on them, so I can't sim anything because it's the wrong stats. But I got the players in place. I made the trades and got all the roster set up. So all I need this for is functionality to keep my score. So as I play the game, so it'll work. Now next year in 2025, I'll go ahead and get the whole package, the new computer game with the imaging and the cards and the extra. It's like one big, thing they come out with when it first starts. But this year this season it's like a practice run for 25 because I'm still learning these players. Hello, Tim. Good to see you. Hope you had a nice birthday celebration or maybe doing it on the weekend. I don't know. But Dylan Cease because he was a White Sox pitcher a couple years ago or maybe within the last couple years. And so they would have played the Tribe a few times. And, of course, the Royals were a Central Division foe of Cleveland. So, of course, I don't know if you're following the modern game. Maybe you're just following the Guardians and that's it. I don't know. But anyway, we're ready to go. Here's Michael Garcia. Close as I can get to San Diego colored dice. 5'10", and that is a catcher X. First thing right out of the bat, former Yankee catcher Higashioka. Ooh, that's not good. Well, I mean, it's good to get checked out, but, I mean, it's not fun to think about. All right, here's a 3E15 for the catcher, Higashioka. 3 and 16 should be no problem. That is going to be a foul out. That's a 16 there. The error might be a problem. He's an E15, and that's a 16. That is definitely a no, I'm sorry. No, it's not. 15 and 15 is okay, but there's no 16 there. There's a 16 on E12, E13, and E14, but there's no and there's an E16 on an E16, but there's no 16 on the E15 for whatever reason. So Higashioka catches a break. It's going to be a foul out, and that's it. So I'll put that in the Strat computer, and there's one away. And what I did, since this is the second game, is I took the relief pitchers that pitched in game one, put them at the back of the rotation, because I want to use all the other guys first and give them all one appearance before I give a guy a second appearance. Because once you pitch 2 days in a row, you can't pitch in game 3, you have to sit out. So I'm going to try to keep that going. Oh, that's fine, Tim. I appreciate you being here. All right, here's Bobby Witt Jr. 3-4, and that's going to be a walk. A walk to Witt Jr., and he can get the lead on a 2 through 6, but again, it will be a -4, so it'll be a -6. It'll be a 1 to 11 if he gets the lead, so we'll try it. Nope, not going to do it. Still, even 1 to 11 is still 55%. That's not bad. All right, here's Vinny Pasquantino. He had a home run. He had a home run in the in game 1. So he's 2 for 3 with a homer, hitting .667. I realize after just one game, batting averages are, pretty much irrelevant. But 5-6 against the left-hander struck him out. Dylan Cease gets the K. He is no longer hitting .667. Now he's hitting .500, 2 for 4. Home run, a walk, and now 2 strikeouts. So here's Salvador Perez with 2 outs and Witt at first base. That's a 1-8, and he's going to strike out. So Cease comes back and strikes out the next 2 to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the first. Kansas City nothing. San Diego coming to bat. And on the mound for the Royals is Seth Lugo, 16-9 and an ERA of even 3 in 33 starts. So very good year for Seth Lugo. Leading off for the Padres will be Xander Bogaerts. He was 1 for 5 in game 1, hitting a robust 200. It's a 1-7, and he's going to be even worse now. It's a fly to center. And I realize the averages at this point are pretty ludicrous because it means virtually nothing. Here's Fernando Tatis. He was 1 for 3 in game 1. 4-7, and that's another strikeout on the board for 2024, and it will be Seth Lugo's first of the season as he gets Fernando Tatis. That'll bring up first baseman Jake Cronenworth. 6-5, and that's going to be a 1 to 10 triple. That's a 15. It'll be a double. So a 2-out double for Cronenworth. And that is, boy, he was 2 for 5 in the first game. Now he's even hotter. So he's on there with the double, and that brings up the designated hitter Manny Machado. Not sure why he's not playing third base, but they've got him in the DH slot in this game. I am using real-world lineups that they used. This was the first lineup San Diego used against a right-handed pitcher in the season, so that's why I'm doing that. Here's Machado, 4-9 against Lugo. Ground ball short, that's Bobby Witt. They were not holding Cronenworth on, so Witt is a 1 E16. We don't need the D20 because we know he's going to get to it. E16 and an 11 at short. E16 with an 11. And there's an easy play for Bobby Witt. Takes care of that, and that takes care of the Padres as they go relatively quiet. They get the 2-out double off the bat of Cronenworth, but nothing else comes of it. At the end of 1, we got no score. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. Happy Friday to everybody out there with the weekend approaching. Don't get tomorrow. Even though I'm on a strat kick, tomorrow is still NBC Game of the Week and in season ticket. 1978 season will be the Phillies and the Pirates from Philadelphia. All right, so MJ Melendez will lead it off for the Royals. He took an 0 in game 1. He's 0 for 4. 310, but that's a ballpark blast, so that could change things. 1 to an 11, and that's a 5. It certainly did change things. Look at it again. 310, ballpark blast, 1 to 11, and the double die is a 5. So MJ Melendez cracks the home run and puts the Royals in the lead 1-0. That'll bring up former Padre Hunter Renfroe. He's been a former everything. That guy's been around a long time in different teams. He was 1 for 4 in game 1. 3-6, and he's going to improve on that. 1 to 10. It might go back-to-back jacks. 1 to 10, and that's an 8. It's gone. Back-to-back jacks. 3-6 is a 110 home run. That's an 8. So back-to-back jacks off Dylan Cease. And Dylan's probably saying these home runs need to cease and desist. But it's 2-0 favor of the Royals. And that brings up Adam Frazier. Frazier took an 0 in game 1. He was 0 for 4. 1-6, and that's a 1 to 10 double, and the double die comes up low again, so it's a base hit. That's a double, actually, not just a base hit, but extra base hit. And they got Cease on the ropes here in the second inning. That'll bring up Nick Lofton. He did not play in game 1, so this will be his first at bat of the Demolition League. In the 2024 season, he had a .189. And he's, for whatever reason, they got him as a DH. I didn't make the lineup, they did. 1-6, and he's going to ground it to short. And with an A, that's going to freeze Frazier at second base. He'll have to hold. And Cease finally gets the first out. That'll bring up center fielder Kyle Isbell. He was 1 for 3 in the previous ball game. 3-6, and that's a ground ball to third. That'll also freeze Frazier. So 2 down now after the back-to-back jacks as Cease tries to settle in. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Tabby is right behind me in the doorway, so she may come over here. She may not. Depends on what she's feeling at the minute. All right, here is Cease to Garcia. 5-7. That's a strikeout to end the inning. Third strikeout for Cease, but 2 home runs, 2 solo shots. Melendez and Renfroe give the Royals a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. Morning, Grapes. Good to see you. All right, Seth Lugo back out for Hassan Kim, shortstop. Kim was 0 for 3 in the first game. 2-9 for Kim. He's going to strike out, so his struggles continue. Second strikeout for Lugo. And that'll bring up Jurickson Profar. Profar, 1 for 3 in game 1. 4-9, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Bobby Witt. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. Just checking the errors. On E16, he's got to avoid 14 and 17, so that's easily done. Did I misread something? Was it supposed to be something else? That was a 5-6. What did I read? I read a shortstop X somewhere. Did I read 4-9 or something by mistake? Let me go back here and see what I actually rolled. Let's do a quick rewind to make sure I got it right. Let's see here. All right, we got the Kim at bat. That 5-6 was a strikeout for Kim. Oh, wait a minute. 5-6 was a fly to right, not a strikeout. Hold on. That should have been a fly to right, not a strikeout. So we'll change that real quick to a fly ball right field. Thank you. I think it was Dan that mentioned that. Thank you for that, Dan. I didn't catch that. Very easy sometimes to misread a row or a column. So I think we're back in good graces now. I think everything is where it should be, hopefully. All right. So Jerks and Profar, 1 for 3 in his first game. That's a 5-6 left-handed. That's a strikeout for sure. That's strikeout number 2. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Tyler Wade. He did not play in game 1. He only had 51 at-bats all season for the Padres. Let's see here. I'm sorry, no, I'm looking at the like I said, I've got the computer up, and it's his 2023 stats, so it was throwing me off. 138 at-bats, real world. Didn't hit all that well, though. Lugo, 5-7, left-handed, but he's going to get a hit here. 1 to 14 is a double, so it's a 2-out double for Tyler Wade. And hello, Mr. Gudeman. I was waiting for you to come on. I guess something came up, but I never saw your game show up, so I said, well, by 9 o'clock, I figured if he's not going to do it then, he's not going to do it, so I'll go ahead and jump on. So here is Jackson Merrill, and this will be his first outing as well. He did not play in game 1. Lugo to Merrill in a clutch situation, and in the clutch for Merrill, he is actually rated completely neutral. He has no effect on the clutch. 3-10, and he's going to fly it to left field, and that's going to end the inning as Melendez makes the catch. So at the end of 2, it's Kansas City 2, San Diego nothing. From Petco Park in San Diego, Royals trying to even the series at a game apiece. Oh, that's fine, Jeffrey. Not a problem. I perfectly understand. All right, here is Bobby Witt. Hopefully you can relax and watch this game and just chill, to use a common expression. Here is Bobby Witt, 3-6, and that's a single for Witt. He reaches for the second time to get the lead. He needs a 2 through 6. It does not get the lead. It's the second time he's been unable to establish a lead. But here is Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny struck out his first time. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't need to do that. I already did that once. 5-3, and that's a fly ball left field X. We are looking at Profar. He's a 4E1. The 1's not a problem. It's the 4 that's the problem. Devil die 17, though, so it cooperates. So 4 and a 17 will be no problem at all. That is an F2. And let's see here on the E. He's only an E1, right? Yep. The only error is on a 17. That's a 10, so no problem there. Play is made by Profar, and there's 1 away. Retreating to first is Witt. Here's Salvador Perez, catcher. He also struck out his first chance. 4-6 for Cease, and that's a base on balls. So 2 on with only 1 out. And that's going to bring up MJ Melendez. He was the first of the 2 home runs back in the second inning. So Cease has to be careful. 6-12. Now, normally, sometimes that's an injury check, but I've already done the pre-check, and both pitchers cannot be injured because they had so many starts. They are off the injured list or injured possibility list. But a 6-12 is going to walk, so that's going to load the bases. And that is the 3rd walk issued by Cease. And he's in trouble again. Bases loaded, only 1 out for Hunter Renfroe. And they are going to play back for the double play. Cease really could use a strikeout right about now. 1-3, but he gets a foul out to third, which is good enough because that means no one can move up. Freezes everybody right where they are. So he caught a break there. Now the infield can go back to normal. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Adam Frazier in the clutch. He does gain a hit right there in the middle on 2-7 and on 2-11. So Frazier, a pretty good clutch hitter as their rating. 1-9 is a fly to right, though, so he's going to fly out to end the inning, and the Royals leave him loaded. Could come back to bite them later. Don't put that. Don't stomp out your opponent early and get a big. Get them while you can. Sometimes you don't get a chance to get them later. But right now they still hold a 2-0 lead, and Seth Lugo will be facing former Yankee catcher Kyle Higashioka. For San Diego, Higashioka hit .220 in 246 at bats. He did not play in Game 1. 1-5, and he's going to draw a base on balls. First walk issued by Lugo. Higashioka will not be held. He has no threat to run. And here is Xander Bogaerts. He flew to center his first chance. 4-7, and that's a strikeout for Lugo. Strikeout number 3. One away for Fernando Tatis. He also struck out his first time up. That's a 3-11, and that's a ground ball first base C that will get the runner to second. But now there are 2 away. Grounds it to Pasquantino, who flips over to Lugo for the 3-1 putout. And here is Jake Cronenworth. Clutch situation for Cronenworth. He doubled his first time up. In the clutch, he gets 1 hit on a 1-3. That's the only difference. But a 5-3 instead is a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 1-E-0, so obviously you don't have to check anything. You know he's going to get to it with a 1, and he's got an E0, so it's automatic. And since there's already 2 outs, we're not checking for a double play. It's just an automatic ground out, and that will end the inning. Pretty nice to have a 1-E-0 rated defense. That's pretty good. So at the end of 3, it is Kansas City 2 and San Diego nothing. That score has held. Both pitchers have fatigue numbers of 6. Dan, you better believe it. It's right here. It's definitely right here in my McDonald's McCafe breakfast blend. If you see it at Walmart or Food Lion, it's in the yellow. They have a blue one, which is like a real heavy blend. They've got a red one, which is like a medium blend, but this is the yellow bag, and sometimes it's hard to find. Breakfast blend, McCafe. That's my go-to. Now, on the weekends, I splurge, and I get this fancier coffee called Javalia, which I got exposed to at the office at work a few years back, and I've always liked it. So I kind of treat myself on the weekends with Javalia. But for Monday through Friday, it is McDonald's all the way. All right, here's Nick Lofton. DH 5-6, and that is a strikeout. And that will be strikeout number 4 for Dylan Cease. Brings up Kyle Isbell, the center fielder. Whoa, the D20 didn't go through. It went on the outside, so let's re-roll that. 4-6, and that's going to be another strikeout. I would almost say there's no such thing as bad coffee, but I've had bad coffee. When I was way back in my youth, when I was, 18, 19 years old, I guess it was, what was that? Probably closer to, probably approaching 19, I guess. When I was in the Army and we had the MREs, they came with this powdered coffee, and it was like gunpowder. But I learned from the guys that were there. They found a way to doctor it up. We took the hot chocolate mix, we took the creamer, we took the sugar, and it still didn't help. But when you had nothing else, you got to do something, It's amazing what you can accept when you don't have anything. 2-5 is a ground ball back to the mound to end the inning. Those were the days. But they were good experiences, and it helped me through life to appreciate things. So if you always get everything you want, you can get spoiled, that's for sure. So it's good to go through a little hardship once in a while. Here's Manny Machado, the designated hitter. 3-6 for Machado. That's a solid single to center field. Leadoff single for Machado. And that he has a chance to get a lead with a 5. That's not Not very likely to roll a 5, but you never know. No, we did not roll a 5. So that'll bring up Hassan Kim. 5-8, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. They were holding Machado, so the second baseman Frazier now turns to a 4E11. Go up a grade when the fielder is responsible for holding. He's a 4E11. 16, though, may not matter, but it might cost him a double play. We'll see. 4 and a 16 is a G2. Yep, a 3 and a 16 would have been a double play chance, but 4 and 16 is a fielder's choice chance. He's an E11, and that's a 10. That shouldn't be any issue at all. Nope. G2, so they get a fielder's choice, 4 to 6. But by holding, and that's one of the little small things, by having to hold the runner close, he's not in position to turn double plays quite as well. So a 4-6 fielder's choice out number 1, and that's going to bring up Jurickson Profar, the left fielder. Kim, the new runner at first base, actually can't forget him. He's got a chance to get a lead, 2 through 5 or a 12. That's a 5. He will get the lead, so he's going to go. 19 being held as a 17, minus 3 is a 14. So Kim, a 1 to 14, and he's in there. Stolen base for Kim. He gets in scoring position. Does Mr. Kim. And here comes Jurickson Profar. They will not hold Kim at second, though. Here's Profar. He struck out his first chance. 6-4 lefty. He's going to strike out again. Strikeout number 4 for Lugo as Profar takes the whiff. And a 2-out, Tyler Wade, who doubled his first time up. And this time in the clutch, he loses a hit on 1-2 and 112. Otherwise, his column 1 is loaded. But he found column 3. 3-5 is going to be a strikeout. So strikeout number 5 for Seth Lugo. And the Padres are erased after the stolen base. Got a runner in scoring position. It came to naught. We go to the 5th. Still 2-0 Royals. Don't forget tomorrow afternoon or morning, whatever, probably around 12-ish, maybe 12:30. I gotta get my voice straight here. Will be the NBC game of the week on season ticket baseball. 1978, Pirates at the Phillies. That's the schedule NBC. That's the scheduled game NBC did for the August date. I think it was August 12th or something like that in 1978. Here's Bobby Witt. He has walked and singled. 2-7, and he's going to pop it up to Kim at short. 1 away. And I am scoring this game on the computer as I'm playing it, so I'm able to keep myself straight a little bit. Here's Pascantino. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 4-12, and that's a ground ball first base X. First baseman is Cronenworth. He's a 2E8. And again, since it's an X check, if he makes the play, it'll be a 3-1 put out. That's just something I've adopted. So 9. Let's see here. We're looking at the first baseman. So he is a 2. 2 and a 9 is a G2. That's a 15, and he's an E8. And he's going to make an error. You don't have to worry about flipping the pitcher. I would probably try to flip it to him and flipped it behind him. It'll be a 1-base error on Jake Cronenworth. He tried to flip it to Cease, but it got behind him and in the dirt. Cease couldn't handle it, so charge him with a 1-base error, Mr. Cronenworth. That'll put Pascantino at first. He will not be held, though. And here's Salvi Perez. He has struck out and walked. 110. That's a ballpark single check, but it's only 1-2. Double dies at 12, so he's going to pop it up to short. Out number 2. And that'll send up MJ Melendez. He homered and walked in this game so far. On the early season, he's 1 for 5, hitting 200. 6-5, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Kim. He's a 2E16. Kim not responsible for holding it because they weren't holding the runner at all. So he keeps the full 216. 2 and a 3, though, on the double die is a little troubling. 2 and a 3, but he's going to get to it because he was not responsible for holding the runner, so the pound sign is irrelevant. We stick with the G3. He is an E16, and this is a 14. E16, but the 14's right here. One base error. Look at that. We rolled a 14. The only one base error on an E16 shortstop, and Kim found it. So 2 errors in the inning. And Dylan Cease is not too happy about it, I can tell you. Neither is Mike Schilt, the manager. So 2 on, 2 out for Hunter Renfroe. This now comes into a clutch situation. And Renfroe gains a hit on 1-9. Everywhere else in neutral. And now Tabby is barking. I'm going to put her on her perch. So I think that's what she wants. She wants to get up on her perch. And she's almost 13 years old, so she has a little trouble jumping. She can walk around fine. She just sometimes has trouble jumping up on heights. She can get down from heights, but getting up there is a little troublesome for her sometimes. All right, here is Hunter Renfroe in the clutch. Renfroe homered and fouled to third. It's a 2-4, and he's going to fly it to right, where Tatis, oops, wrong side. Tatis will put that away, and that will end the inning. So Dylan Cease pitches around 2 errors. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 2-0. And Seth Lugo back out. Will face Jackson Merrill, Higashioka, and Bogarts. And let's do this real quick. Make sure I'm all set. All right, well, Tabby, if people want to see you, there you are. You're right here. She's sitting by her perch. So that's where she's at. Hopefully she'll stay there and not try to venture onto the table. Now I got to get this thing back to the way I had it. I think that's about right there. Okay. Bring this down just a hair. Okay, so I think we're about as good as we're going to get it. I want to get as close to the cards as I can so you can see the writing, but I don't want to cut anything off either. That's the disadvantage of trying to get close. All right, here's Jackson Merrill. As a 1-9 for Merrill, and he will strike out. So Seth Lugo picks up his 6th strikeout. Padres not faring well against Mr. Lugo. That'll bring up Higashioka. He walked his first time up. The only walk issued by Seth Lugo. 3-6, and he will pop it up to short where Bobby Witt will handle it. 2 down. Xander Bogaerts leads off, or comes up. He's a leadoff hitter. 0 for 2. And Bogaerts is 1 for 7 on the season so far. 4-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Bobby Witt is there. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. Checking the E16 and a 14. I think he's still okay with that. E16. No, he's not. 14 is the error on E16. Didn't Kim was the same way. Kim got an error on. We rolled a 14 twice on an E16 error check back to back. How does that happen? How do you roll 14 twice? Anyway, Bobby Witt boots it. 3rd error of the game, and now Bogaerts has a chance to try to get the lead. Needs a 4 or a 5. Gets it with the lead, so he's an 18. Being held as a 16. -3 is a 13. 1 to 13, he's going. And he's got caught stealing. So Salvi Perez throws him out, and Frazier puts on the tag. And that's going to do it for the Padres. So we've played 5. And it's still 2-0 favor of the Kansas City Royals. This is the fatigue inning for both pitchers, and this is the last inning for both pitchers. I capped the starters at 6 innings when it's their first start of the season. And here is Adam Frazier. He is 1 for 2 with a double. 1 for 6 on the season. 6-9, and that's a double, rather. Almost read a ground ball to second. That's a solid double off of Cease. So it's 2nd double of the game for Frazier. And that'll bring up Nick Lofton, the DH. He's 0 for 2 in his first start of the season. 6-9, and that is a 1 triple. Anything else, he will fly to left. So it's a fly ball to left, 1 away, and that'll bring up Kyle Isbell, the center fielder. Isbell, 0 for 2. And 0 for 5 on the, I'm sorry, 1 for 5, 200 on the season, 1 for 5. 4-8 is a 1-3 single. That's a 7, so he lines it to second. And Frazier scurries back to avoid being doubled off. There's 2 away. Now Tabby has jumped down. I think she's going to her blanket or something. I don't know what she's doing, but we drive on. Michael Garcia in a clutch situation. He is 0 for 3. And as a matter of fact, he's 0 for 7 on the season. In the clutch, he does gain a hit on 1-8, though. Get a 5-6, and that's a strikeout on Cease's card. And that will end the inning. And that's going to finish the day for Dylan Cease. Overall, a pretty good outing. Quality start, as they would say. 6 innings pitched. And let's see, that's the strikeout number 6 for him. So he had 6 strikeouts. He gave up the 2 runs, obviously, on the solo home runs. Gave up 1, 2, 3, 4. I got him for 5 hits. He walked 1, 2, 3. Got him for 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. So that's the line on Cease as to what he has done. Six innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And the Padres will go to the bullpen in the top of the 7th. Right now, we're looking at the bottom of the 6th. This is the final inning for Seth Lugo. He's got to get through Tatis, Cronenworth, and Machado, heart of the Padre order here in the bottom of the 6th. That's a 1-4, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. Easy play for Frazier, and that'll bring up Cronenworth. That's a 2-7 for Cronenworth, and he will fly to center. 2 down. So Lugo looking to finish in style with 6 shutout innings. Here's Machado. 6-6, 1-2 is a double. That's an 11, so he will do it. That's going to be a fly ball to center field to end the inning. So Seth Lugo is going to finish with 6 shutout innings. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, just 3 hits, no runs. He walked only 1. That was Higashioka, and he struck out 6. And he's in line for the win if the bullpen can hold it. So we go to the top of the 7th, and the Padres will need a new pitcher. And we'll show who they have that's did not pitch in Game 1. Those pitchers get priority here early on. So the guys that did not pitch in Game 1, right-hander Johnny Brito, right-hander E. De Los Santos. It doesn't give a first name, so I have no idea what his first name is without looking it up. Right-hander Stephen Kolick, and that's it. Everybody else, the other 4 guys that they have, Matsui, Peralta, Suarez, and Estrada, all pitched in Game 1. So I'm going to start with these 3 guys and use the other 4 when it's necessary. So in a 2-0 game, let's see who we want to go to. They will go to Johnny Brito. Johnny Brito, 1-2 with a 4.12 earned run average, and he will be making his first appearance of the season. Obviously, just Game 2, so no chance to make a whole lot of appearances yet, but he's in there. His job is to hold the Royals right where they are. So Brito, and his hold is a +4. That's not good. Gives him a +3. Big difference from that -4. So leading off will be Bobby Witt. And Witt will be followed by Pasquantino and Perez. That is a 2-11 for Witt, and he's going to be hit by a pitch. So Brito comes in his first batter faced of the year, and he plunks him. Witt now with a good chance to get the lead, and he's got that +3 going. So if he gets the lead, he's pretty much automatic. 2 through 6. Does not get the lead, though. So can't do it. Here's Pasquantino. We got a 1-6 for Pasquantino. 1's a double, 2 to 20 is a single. That's a 3. Single 2 stars. Going to put runners at the corners with nobody out. And Brito is having some issues. Here's Salvi Perez. They're down 2-0, so they're going to have to bring the infield in. They can't. I don't think they want to trade a run right now. They need to knock everything out. So they're going to bring the infield in. Risky, but their desperate time call for desperate measures. 3-7. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Fly ball. I was looking over 2-7. 3-7 for Perez. Fly ball to center field B ? So possible sacrifice fly is in order for Perez. Witt is a 17. You add 2 to that, makes it a 19. The center fielder arm Merrill is a -1. So it's a 1 to 18, and he'll make it for a sacrifice fly. And he does. So it's a sacrifice fly to center field by Perez as Witt comes in to score. And it is now 3-0. Kansas City. So Perez did his job, got the run home. Here's MJ Melendez. That's a 5-11, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-2, though, so that's going to be a liner to second for out number 2. 2 down for Hunter Renfroe. Hunter Renfroe has homered, and he's fouled to third and fly to right. 6-7 for Brito is a single 2 stars. So that's going to put runners at the corners again. And Brito is not tired because he's got a fatigue of 2. So just because he gave up those 3 base runners does not make him tired. His fatigue inning is the following inning. That'll bring up Frazier. He's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. Again, a clutch situation. It's a 6-5 left-handed. That's a fly to center, and that will end the inning. And that's going to be it for Brito. 1 inning, I think, is all they can take of him. So Brito will go 1 inning, give up a run on 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. So we go to the top of the 7th, and the Royals will need a new pitcher. And we'll figure out it's the same situation with San Diego. We'll look at who they used in the previous game and pick someone else. Guys that did not pitch in the first game. They used Anderson Hernandez in game 1, so those 2 are in the back of the line. But otherwise, you have Chris Stratton, a righty, James MacArthur, a righty, John Schreiber, a righty, and 2 lefties, Will Smith and Angel Zerpa. So let's see. With the Padres coming up, they have right switch left. So I'm not sure, but another lefty behind him. So they will go to Angel Zerpa, a left-hander. Zerpa will come in to pitch. He was 2-0 with a .386 earned run average and no saves. His hold is a -1 with Perez's -2, so the -3 stays. So Angel Zerpa will get the call. Angel Zerpa. All righty. And we will forgo the 7th inning stretch. We're just going to drive on. Now Tabby's back. Let me put you back on your perch. Hold on. All right, get back up there. Watch out, you got your claws stuck. Hold on. There you go. Okay. Ha-Seong Kim will lead off, followed by Profar and Wade. But we're in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is definitely allowed. So we'll probably pinch hit for Wade, most likely. But here's Ha-Seong Kim, 1-4 against the lefty. That's a ground ball to the pitcher plus injury. So Kim may be suffering an injury here. He's going to ground it to Zerpa for the out. But now we'll see if Kim needs to be replaced. He needs a 1-4 to stay in the game. 5 or higher, he's out of here. That's a 2, so he stays in the game. So Ha-Seong Kim, fortunately for the Padres, does not have to leave the game. Here's Profar. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 6-12. Well, let me get the injury rating for Zerpa. I forgot to do that. So 6-12 might be an injury check on Zerpa. We'll take a look here. Zerpa is a 1. Yep, so 6-12 is his injury check. So Zerpa susceptible to injury, but will resolve the 6-12 first. It's a ground ball second base X to Frazier for a 3-E11. 3 and a 17, he'll get to it. E11 and a 12 shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't think. E11, there's no 12, so it's good play for Frazier. But Zerpa, a good chance Zerpa's got to go. But we'll roll the D20 and tell. 1-6, he can stay in the game. Anything else, he's got to come out. That's a 1. He can stay in the game. So both players avoiding injuries there. So Zerpa will remain in the game. But Tyler Wade will be called back, and they will bring in a pinch hitter, a right-hander. Wade only faced lefties 14% of the time. So they will call him back. And they have Eggy Rosario, who can play third base. They got Donovan Solano, who can play third base. And they can both pinch hit, obviously. They got Zokar, an outfielder that can pinch hit. Camposano, the catcher. And Peralta, a lefty. So it looks like it might be Eggy Rosario. He's got the best average. No, actually, I take it back. Donovan Solano's got the better average. He's hitting 286. So Donovan Solano will pinch hit for Wade. Solano. And he is a 4E8. So Solano is a 4E8. Now that's messy, but that's okay. We know what's going on. So he's going to pinch hit in the 7th, play third base in the 8th. Donovan Solano. So I'll bring him on in the computer in place of Wade. Unfortunately, 2 injury checks did not turn into injuries as it turned out. The D20 was kind. The double die came up low again, this time in a good way, and keeps these players healthy. So here's Solano. This is his first at-bat of the season against the lefty Angel Zerpa. 1-10, and he grounds it to second, and that's going to end the inning. But Solano will stay in the game to play third base. But Zerpa, a 1-2-3, 7th inning, did his job. That's what they needed him to do. We will go to the 8th. Still a 3-0 Kansas City lead. And now the computer is telling me to put Solano in at third base, which we're doing. And now we go to the bullpen for the Padres and get the guys that weren't used previously. Brito had a rough outing, so let's see about the other guys. It's either De Los Santos or Kolick, and they will go with De Los Santos. I don't know what his first name is. I don't know if it's Eddie or E. I have no idea. It just says E. De Los Santos, so that's what we'll go with. De Los Santos. His first appearance, he's a -3 hold. And so that's a -4. So De Los Santos will enter. And he will be facing Lofton, Isbell, and Garcia, bottom portion of the Kansas City lineup. I think we've got to push this up a little bit so we can see more of the cards here. Don't want to get too far off the beaten path. Want to be able to see the cards. Okay. All right, so De Los Santos again on in the real world, 1-2 with a 4.46 ERA and a save. 3-0 Royals, top of the 8th. Royals trying to even the series at a game apiece. Lofton 0 for 3 as a designated hitter. 6-5 for De Los Santos is a strikeout. There's one away, and that will bring up Kyle Isbell, center fielder. He is 0 for 3 also. 2-11, and that's a ground ball first base C, so Cronenworth will field it. Flip to De Los Santos for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. Inyal, thank you. Inyel, I'm guessing it's pronounced Inyel. Dan, I'm guessing. I don't know. Thank you for looking it up for me, though. Inyel. I guess his last name was so long they didn't have room to put a first name. So Inyel, I guess, is what I'll call him. And Garcia is up with 2 outs and the bases clear. Garcia 0 for 4 on the day and 0 for 8 on the season. So he's looking for his first hit. 1-6, and he's definitely found it. 1 to 10 is a home run. That's a 14, so he'll settle with a double. But at least he gets his first hit of the season and gets off the schneid. So 2-out double by Garcia brings up Bobby Witt. Clutch situation for Witt. Gains a hit on 3-3. I'm sorry, 2-3. Everywhere else he is neutral. So De Los Santos to Witt. That's a 3-6, and that's going to be a single, but it's 2 stars, so that will score the run. Royals take a 4-0 lead as Bobby Witt comes through again. And the Royals definitely in good shape to even this series. Witt still with the pedal to the metal, looking to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 6. Does not get the lead. He will hold. And with 2 outs, it'll be Vinny Pasquantino. Pasquantino, 1 for 4. 3-6 for Pasquantino. He's going to line it to Kim at short, and that will end the inning. And that will do it for De Los Santos. He goes 1 inning, gives up 2 hits and a run, no walks and a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Kansas City now with enjoying a 4-0 lead, and they will go to their bullpen as Zerpa did his job. And now we go to the next contestant for the Royals, and it will be John Schreiber. Schreiber or Schreiber. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It looks like it's Schreiber to me, but it could be Schreiber. I'm thinking it's Schreiber. 4-3, 3.66 earned run average, and 2 saves for Mr. Schreiber. So let's bring him in on the computer. Mr. Schreiber. I'm sorry, Schreiber already pitched a game, so he's not coming in. My bad. I didn't mark him as being pitched already. So the 2 guys available that haven't pitched yet, or it's actually 3 guys. It is Will Smith, their closer, and then James MacArthur, a relief pitcher, and Chris Stratton, a relief pitcher. So we've got either Stratton or MacArthur. They're going with MacArthur. So James MacArthur. So I'm glad I didn't write it in on the score sheet yet. Good thing I have the computer to keep me straight. MacArthur will be the new pitcher for the Royals. And on the season, 2024 season, he was 5-7. Actually, he's showing 18 saves too. 5-7, 492, 18 saves. I thought Will Smith was the closer, but maybe not. He only had 1 save. Okay, I got confused. Actually, well, I've already committed to MacArthur, so we'll stick that way. So MacArthur is on. He'll be facing Merrill, Higashioka, and Bogarts. Could pinch hit for Higashioka, though. We'll see. Inyel. Okay, thank you. All right, here's Merrill. He is 0 for 2. That's a little bugaboo there. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. MacArthur, 2-6, and that's a 1 to 10 triple. 11 to 20 is a double, so a leadoff triple for Jackson Merrill. How about that? His first hit of the season is a triple. So he's aboard, but I think they might pinch hit for Higashioka. He's only a 220 hitter. Let's look at the bench and see if they got a good lefty that they feel comfortable with. They have Peralta, 267 hitter. So they're going to pinch hit for Higashioka, bring in Peralta, and Campusano would catch defensively in the ninth inning. But they're going to bring in David Peralta. Peralta, 267 average, 8 home runs. So Peralta will do the pinch hitting for San Diego here in the eighth inning for Higashioka. And then Campusano will catch in the ninth. All right, we go to the Strat computer and bring in Mr. Peralta. See if he played in the first game. He did not. This will be his first at bat of the season for Mr. Peralta against James MacArthur. Infield is back for the Royals. They have a 4-0 lead, so there's no sense playing in. 6'5", left-handed, struck him out. Big strikeout for MacArthur. All right, so Peralta is out of there. He fails in the pinch. Go back to the top of the order for Xander Bogaerts. The infield's still back because you're up 4-0. What's the point? 3-6 for Bogaerts, and that's going to be a 1-12 single for Bogaerts, a 1-12. That is a 12 right on the number. How about that? He hit the number exactly, a 1-12, and he hit it. So Bogaerts will single, and that will score Merrill to put the Padres finally on the board as they lead it, or they trail now 4-1. Bogaerts could get a lead. It is a -2 on the factor here. But I don't think they're not going to send him. They're going to hold him there. Royals will be forced to hold him on, but they're not going to. The Padres aren't going to try anything. They're down 4-1, and you got some big bats coming up in Tatis and Machado, so you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. All right, so MacArthur, that's a 2 chance of a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance. MacArthur has a 0. So we go to Tatis. It's a 1-5, and he struck him out. Big strikeout there for MacArthur. And now it's up to Jake Cronenworth. Not Jake from State Farm, but Jake Cronenworth. Cronenworth is 1 for 3 with a double. 4-7. 1-8's a single. That's a 7. It's a single, 1 star. It's going to put runners at first and second. More importantly, it brings a tying run to the plate in Manny Machado. Now MacArthur's got to be careful. Machado is up in the clutch, and in the clutch, Machado gains a hit on 2-2, and that's it. Everything else is neutral. So MacArthur to Machado. 1-5, and it's a 1-18 single. It's only 1 star. The bases will now be loaded, and I believe MacArthur is now tired. He's tired, but they're going to stick with him. He is their closer. They want to get him out of this 8th inning. Ha-Seong Kim, the batter. Kim is 0 for 3. Infield back for the double play. I'm sorry, there are 2 outs, so there's no double play to worry about. Clutch situation, though, so he loses a hit on the 1-8 and on the 2-12. That's a 5-6, however, and that's a ground ball to short, and MacArthur gets out of it. 1 run is in, but they're going to cap MacArthur there. He had a very taxing inning, so he's going to come out. He's going to give up 4 base hit and a run. Fortunate to only give up 1 run. He did strike out 2, so that helped his cause. But they'll have to find somebody else to try to close the deal, maybe Will Smith. And now the Padres will be, Let's see here. Kim grounded to short. Okay, I got to make sure I got that right. Okay. So we go to the top of the ninth here in San Diego. And Camposano will come in and catch for the Padres, where Peralta had pinch hit. And now San Diego will bring in a new pitcher. And the only guy that has not pitched yet for the Padres out of their bullpen during the season is going to come in, Stephen Kolek. I guess it's Kolek or Kolek. I'm going to call him Kolek. 3-0, 5.21 earned run average for Stephen Kolek, a right-hander. And now this will be the all Padre bullpen arms will have now at least pitched 1 inning in the first 2 games. And it also keeps, from overworking guys. That way Peralta, Matsui, and Estrada, who pitched in the previous game, will be available for game 3, where they wouldn't have been previously because it would have been their second consecutive outing. All right, so Salvador Perez will lead off for the Royals again, and followed by Melendez and Renfroe. And again, if we roll to column 3 or column 6, I will pull the I will go ahead and pull the card over so you can see it better. .48, right-handed. That's a solid double. I think it's easy to see right there. 4.8 is a solid double for Salvi. And he treats Kolek pretty roughly on the first at bat. That'll bring up MJ Melendez. He started the scoring with a homer back in the second. 3-7. So we'll bring this over so you can see it better. 3-7, a 1-8's a double. That's a 3. Back-to-back doubles. And the Royals looking to extend the lead. In fact, they're not looking to do it. They already did it. It's now 5-1. And it's no longer a save situation. And here comes Hunter Renfroe. Kolek getting roughed up. 2 doubles in a row. That's a 1-3, and that's a foul out to third, where Solano makes the play. 1 down. I'm not a cat psychologist at all, but I'm thinking the activity, this dice rolling into the tray is fascinating Tabby. That's why she's focused on that tray. She's just kind of staring at it. And I think that's why she likes to sit here, because she likes to hear that sound. But I'm not a cat psychologist, so I don't know. I could be way off on that. Hello, Frank. Good to see you. All right, so that'll bring up Adam Frazier. He's got 2 doubles on the game, 2 for 4. 3-6. Frazier against the righty is another pop-up. This one to short for Kim. And that's 2 away. 2 down, and that's going to send up Lofton, the DH. Let's see here. Lofton is 0 for 4 in his debut, having a rough outing. 2-7, and he's going to ground to short. So he's going to debut as a DH and go 0 for 5. Go figure. But the Royals pick up a run on Kolek on 2 hits. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. It is Kansas City 5, San Diego 1. And the Royals will figure out who they're going to bring in to finish out the game. Looks like it's going to be Chris Stratton. Again, it's a no-save situation because of the 4-run deficit. But they will, I think, bring in. Do they want to use? They're going to start with Stratton, and if he gets in trouble, they got Will Smith. So they'll start with Stratton. He's 4-3 with 4 saves, an ERA of 5.55. So Chris Stratton. Getting him confused because there's another Stratton with Pittsburgh, different player altogether. I think it's Hunter Stratton or somebody like that. So I got to be careful. Let's see. Stratton is a 0 hold, which means we're at the -2 level. So Stratton will make his appearance, his first of the season. That means Will Smith's the only Royal to not pitch in either game so far. Why do I not have? What's going? Oh, there he is. I was trying to find him. There he is. Stratton is in, and Jurickson Profar, the leadoff hitter for the Padres. here in the 9th. Maybe he played both. I got him for Pittsburgh already. So let me look at the check something out here. Make sure I didn't make a total snafu here. Whoops. I don't want to go down that path where I got one guy playing for 2 teams at the same time. I don't want to start that. So let me double check this. 2024 season. Kansas City. Now it's a different Stratton altogether. This is Chris Stratton for Pittsburgh. They have a Hunter Stratton. Hunter Stratton is for Pittsburgh. Okay. That's what I thought. Pittsburgh has Hunter Stratton, and Kansas City has Chris Stratton. All right, here is Profar. 2-7 for Profar. He's going to ground it to short for Witt, and there's one away. That'll bring up Solano. That's a 5-7 right-handed. 1-11 is a double, but that's a 12, so he just missed it. He's going to end up lining it to third base, where Garcia will make the catch. So 2 outs. And the Royals 1 out away from gaining their first victory and evening the series at a game apiece. And it's all up to Jackson Merrill. He tripled his last time up. That's a 4-11. Ground ball first base X. That's Vinny Pasquantino. He's a 4-E3. 4-4. This could get by him. That looks ominous. 4-4 is a single. That's an 8, and he is an E3. No error, but it's going to be a single, as Pasquantino just couldn't get to it. That will extend the inning. Now for Luis Camposano, his first at bat. Can't pitch hit for him because he's the last catcher. So he will have to hit. Camposano in game 1 was 1 for 4. And on the season, he hit .227. He was 1 for 4 as a starter in game 1. So Stratton to Camposano to try to put this thing away. It is a 4-3, and he's going to walk him. So it ain't over till it's over, like Yogi said. And as some other channel might say, 9th inning magic. All right, so it's 5-1. Tying run is still not at the plate. It is on deck. I could bring in Will Smith for a cheap save, but I won't do that unless Stratton gives up another hit or something. Here's Bogarts. I'm going to try to let Stratton finish the game. 1-6, and he does with a strikeout, and that will end the ball game and take care of the Padres and even the series. So Stratton, a shaky inning, but he gets through it. A hit, a walk, and a strikeout, nothing else. Winning pitcher turns out to be Seth Lugo. He is 1-0. Tough luck loser is Dylan Cease, 0-1. Let's get the numbers. 5 runs. Well, got it up on the computer, so maybe the computer can help me and I don't have to do the math. How about that? So let's go to the computer and get the information. For Kansas City, 5 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. For the Padres, 1 run, 8 hits, and 2 errors. Remember, the Padres had those 2 errors in the same inning, but they didn't score. And there was an error on the shortstop Witt, but that was erased on the caught stealing. So that neither error had any effect on that. Player of the game. Who do we give the player of the game to? Well, Lugo pitched very well. We could give it to him. He got the win with 6 shutout innings. But Melendez, 2 for 4 with a homer and a double. So I'm thinking MJ Melendez is your player of the game. Either way, San Diego now drops to 1-1. Kansas City raises up to 1-1. And that is game 10. It is now finished. Game number 10 is complete. And one good thing about scoring it as I played it, I don't have to go back now and re-enter it, because that's like playing the game twice when you do that. So that is the ball game. Demolition League. We look at the schedule now. All games from April 1st and April 2nd have been played. So they have one more series on April 3rd, these same 5 matchups for one more time. And then the 4th is when they'll be picking it back up again. So I haven't decided yet, but I may play some of these offline just to kind of speed things up a little bit. Maybe pick one good matchup and show it for that day. But like Toronto and Oakland, that might be a good game to play offline. Minnesota, Miami is probably a good game to play offline. Now I might play the Dodgers, Cubs, or the Yankees, Pittsburgh. Maybe one of those two I'll do on video, on live stream. The other ones I'll probably play offline to help speed things up. We shall see. Depends on what's going on and how I'm feeling. Thank you all for spending part of your Friday morning with me. Hope you enjoyed that presentation, even though it was it was a nice close game through 6 innings, and the Padre bullpen kind of fell apart there in the latter half. But that can happen from time to time. And the good thing is we had 2 injury checks, and we got both of them got avoided, which was also a very good thing. So that's going to do it from here. Still working on, and I don't know if I can pull it off to get it recorded today. Maybe not. I might do a practice one. I might actually do a practice one today just to see how it goes on the radio broadcast for 1976 and see if I can put it together and do something that makes sense or whatever. And if it works, then I'll do it for real next week. And if it doesn't work, I'll kind of tweak it and see what went wrong, and if there's any technical issues, what I got to fix. And so I'll be looking to do that. Again, tomorrow is the NBC game of the week on season ticket baseball. 1978, Pittsburgh Pirates at the Philadelphia Phillies. It is the game that NBC picked with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you are having a great Friday wherever you are. No, Jeffrey, it's a recording, so I'm not gonna put that out until it's a finished product. I'm just gonna test it, I think, for myself. Now, if the test goes well and I like what came out, I might go ahead and do that. But that's, knowing my luck, it's gonna probably, because I'm not technically savvy, so trying to do the things I'm trying to do probably are going to be difficult to make it a seamless transaction. But I will try. But if it doesn't come out well, you won't see it. I won't put it out there unless it's what I think is acceptable. Yeah, you might, but you're also gonna, well, I prefer to. I'm not a perfectionist by any means, but I do have a certain standard that I like to hold up to. That I don't want to put out something that's not good. So. I mean, not that these are great, but I mean, I don't want to put out something where it's just a fiasco. So, and I also want to put it out there and test and see if I can avoid any kind of a copyright strike. So I want to make sure I avoid that, because I will be using some other videos on YouTube, bits and pieces, to do it. So I don't think it'll be a problem, but I never know. With YouTube, you can never tell, and I don't want to take a chance of getting whacked and messing up what I'm doing normally. So, all right, that's going to do it from here. I hope you're okay, Jeff. Hope you're feeling well. Don't forget, I think Spokane Steve is usually around 4 or 4:30. I think it's about 4:30 Eastern time. He does his 1966 game. They're always in a great presentation. He does. I don't think it's a far stretch on a limb to say he has the best Strat-O-Matic presentation on YouTube right now. The way he puts the score sheet out is nice and clean and neat. It's just very laid back and very methodical, and but entertaining at the same time. So really like his work. I think Spokane Steve does a wonderful job, and of course he's the one that sent me the original blank score sheet of this. And well, we have different ways of doing things, and that's good. You don't have this. You don't have robos, robo people doing this. You want different personalities and different perspectives in these games, and of course doing different seasons helps too. So thank you all for the kind words. But I'm going to go ahead and like I said, I've done a lot of prep for this radio thing, so I'm going to give it a go and see how it is. Now, don't forget, my point is, and my goal in this is to make it sound like, to bring you, to get you back into 1976 for one thing. Second thing is to pretend that you are on the East Coast listening to a game from the West Coast late at night over the AM radio, and it's, you're listening to it on your transistor or whatever, and the hometown Eastern team's radio announcer is announcing the game from the West Coast back to the East Coast, trying to keep the East Coast fans awake and entertained and whatever. But that's kind of the motif I'm going for. My goal is to make the presentation not sound like a Strat-O-Matic game. I don't want it to sound like a Strat-O-Matic game. I want it to sound like a regular game that's been played, and it's on a radio broadcast, and you get a play-by-play of it. So we'll be incorporating pitch by pitch. So it could take 2 hours or so to get done, but I don't mind doing it. But I don't want it to sound. I will be playing. Now, don't get me wrong. I will be playing Strat-O-Matic as I'm announcing it. I'm just not going to have the dice tower here to make all this noise, so you won't hear the dice noise at all. At least that's my goal. Is you won't. It would be very minimal if you do. And my goal is to make it sound like you're listening to the radio guy on the AM radio. That's my goal. Now, whether I can pull it off, that's a big ask. I've never done anything like this before, so it is a total first-time effort, and no telling how it's going to turn out. I could if I wanted to, but I also have I would use the smaller dice, not these big things. I would use the smaller Strat-O-Matic dice. And I've got I don't have it in front of me right at the moment, but I have a little small leather, I don't know what you call it, dice tray maybe is the word for it. And when you roll the dice in there, it makes almost no sound. So it's, you're not going to hear that. You won't be getting that kind of sound. If you heard that over the radio, you obviously know you're hearing a dice. So I'm going to try to go the other way with that. I will be rolling dice, absolutely, yes, but it will be the small Strat-O-Matic dice, and it will be in a little tray. Of course, you guys won't see that because the screen will be black. Well, actually, it won't be black. What I'm going to try to do is get a picture of Anaheim Stadium and put that up there as the thumbnail or the picture, so that you have that to look at as the only thing on screen. And you'll just be hearing, everything will be audio versus video. So, but like I said, I'm doing some homework on these things. I'm trying to research these players so that I can try to give some stories in the broadcast of the players. So, yep, that's what I got, Frank. The Sousa Dice Tower. I paid $60 for this about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's that's true, Jeffrey. But I mean, there's some background stories that I didn't know. I actually went on YouTube and listened to a Tiger California game from 1976, and Ernie Harwell's radio call, and the first batter, Dave Collins, he says he's from South Dakota. I didn't know that. So little tidbits like that I want to get information on and throw it out, not just straight stats, but maybe some interest stories that I can find on the internet for these players. Or if there's guys I remember, I can look, maybe I remember something about them myself. I don't know, but I want to try to, because it's not all about the balls and strikes and the game. It's more of making the players, I wouldn't say come to life because they're already alive, but just giving details about them that you might hear on I want to try to do things that you would hear on the radio, not on a Strat-O-Matic YouTube call, but things on the radio. So my goal is if I do it correctly and somebody listens to that for the first time, they would have no idea that I'm playing Strat-O-Matic. I'm not going to say, oh, I rolled a 3-6. If I roll a 3-6 and the result is a fly ball to left, I'm going to call it like a fly ball to left. I'm not going to do the 3-6. Now, what I'll do probably, what I'll have to do, say I roll a 3-6 as a fly to left. Well, I'll roll it, but I won't say what it is right away. I'm going to lead into the at bat and say ball one, took a, fouled off a pitch. I'm going to try to filler, use the filler like it's a real broadcast. Like I said, it's something I've never tried before. So I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Could fall flat on my face. It could be hilariously bad. I don't know, but we'll give it a shot and see how it turns out. What's the worst that can happen, right? I'll have fun trying it. It'll be something different for sure. Like I said, I've already done a whole lot of background to get ready for this. So one thing I got to do is get my voice together because my voice is starting to crack up a little bit since but this is a score sheet I will be using for myself to keep track of everything. I've got the benches and bullpens here and the records of the players and the uniform numbers of the players. And I got the umpires and the weather and the attendance for that game and things like that. So I'm going to have as much statistics in there as I can, but also try to give the personal touch of the players and their stories if I can find stuff on the internet about them. So it might take some more research. So I probably won't be able to record it today. I'll probably record it sometime next week because I really want to do more research and I really want to get this going. But like I said, I might do the practice just from a technical standpoint and see how it turns out on YouTube. Because when I record through this webcam and I set it up on YouTube, it does not give me an option to not do video. It gives me an option to use the webcam or maybe the camera on my laptop. But now the phone gives me that option, but not this. So I may have to do this on my phone. I have no idea. I'm going to have to experiment with some of the settings. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a technical guru, so I don't know how that would go. So I don't want to do something that would be, weird or whatever. So yeah, probably. Well, I've got an Android phone, so probably what you're saying is I got to use my Android phone here. So that's what I would do. Because if I go on YouTube, let me go on here real quick on my phone, at least. Let me get something going here. So if I go on my phone and I hit this plus button, it gives me options, hide live video. I don't know if that's what I want to do or not. But if I do this, there's the go live together button. There's advanced settings, but I don't see anything on that. So Tabby, I'm trying to explain something, Tabby. So I'm thinking I can put a picture of Anaheim Stadium right here for the thing, but I'm trying to figure out how to do it where it doesn't come up as a on screen. So I don't know. Hide video. I guess I could do it that way. Hide video, and that will bring up. So the only thing you'd see would be this thing here. So I don't know exactly. I'm going to play around with it, I guess. I'm not a technical wizard, so I don't know how that's done, but that's part of the process of learning, and that's part of the process of practice. So, hey, Tabby. Well, Tabby. Tabby. All right, it's kind of blurry. I had to take this quick picture of Tabby while I was waiting. She's sitting on my laptop box case. She loves to do that. It's a little furry. It's not plastic. It's like I don't know what you call it, but it's a comfortable thing for her to sit on. So she likes that. So that's where she's sitting, right beside me on the floor, waiting for me to get finished. So I told her I'd try to finish. She's already got her food, so I don't know what else she wants, unless she wants me to pet her or something. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try this out as a practice and see how it goes. So maybe if I do a practice run here, um, then maybe it's just like the NFL or just like baseball. They do spring training games to get straight for the regular season. So maybe I'm doing a spring training video or stream to get ready for the real one. So I'll put that on tonight or today. I'll mess around with it and see how it goes. And if I feel like I've got everything straight, then maybe I'll turn back around and redo it and put it out. But we'll have to wait and see. All right. I do appreciate all you guys being with me and give me encouragement and advice and things of that nature. Hope you all have a great Friday wherever you are. Don't forget tomorrow at roughly noon will be the NBC Game of the Week on Season Ticket Baseball. It is the 1978 season, which is winding down. Pittsburgh Pirates at the Philadelphia Phillies. That's the NBC Game of the Week with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek on the call. So that's going to do it for me here. Hope you all have a great day. Till next time, strat on, as Tenacious Earl would say, and play whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you all down the road.